Alright, let's do this one more time. This guy's name is 111 Horizon, and he's a part of the Horizon myth on Roblox. As of our last video, there were only 4 of them, all sharing one little place and not much else other than the objective to build a bridge and no real end in sight. Now that's expanded into a cast of 7, as well as 4 total places, 2 YouTube channels, and multiple original songs. Let's jump into Horizon Part 2! I suppose we should start with some new developments. 2 videos were published on a new YouTube channel titled 222 Horizon. One is a teaser for a new place as well as some music titled Soon, and the other is a teaser for a portal, appropriately titled Portal. And yes, of course the descriptions are Morse code, just saying welcome, there's more to come, and soon. After a few days of waiting, finally on the 30th of July at around 10 AM I toured the new place. It's a small little cityscape. Here's a map on screen. Yes, it has 2 floors, and yes, we will get into that later. Now, the canon explanation for how you arrive here is that there's a portal in the original place accessed by clicking on the Groover guy, obviously. You are taken to a little portal area with another room behind it that has a keypad lock. I suppose our only option now is to head in. First, one introduces us to the left side of the map, the district. Here we learn a little more about the 2 new characters, 3 and 4. 4 is a little bit of a crazy guy, and 3 is an engineer and the electrician of the Void. We can assume that he's responsible for the elevator here as well as the lighting. How about we see what's down this elevator then? Some cool paintings, checkerboard flooring, pretty standard. Oh my gosh, is that Blazer? My editor? I f***ing knew it! So you are a part of this! How dare you! Anyways, after that miniature panic attack from me, he handed out some water and I started interrogating him. Eventually, we headed out to meet 4 for the first time. His house is down a long corridor to the right of the main fountain. Ah, cool. Perfectly normal missing persons poster. How quaint. 4 has his own little home, fit with a radio, monitor, half a corpse pinned to the wall, and a doll. After the rest of the gang runs off to find 4's meds because he's schizophrenic, he tells me not to step on Gizmo the doll and asks me about myself. We happily discussed my fine collection of hats while 1 thanked 3 for his service in chat. 3 seems to miss his family quite a bit and his factory. 4 shows me his radio and it's playing static. I didn't find this odd at the time, but the fact that there's any signal at all means that something out there is transmitting radio waves at frequencies that are specifically meant to be picked up by normal radio. Something wants to speak to 4, or at least wants to be heard. Whatever, tinfoil hats off. Speaking of hats, apparently 2's crowns are also fading, along with his soul. You know, the usual. You know, if my hat started fading too, I'd also probably lose my soul, so that's kind of relatable. 4 says the name of the song is, which translates to Save Us. The rest of the gang arrives and we head over to another new area, the storeroom. It has some crates, a jar, and a few dead roses. Nothing too special here, but across the platform is another room, made of solid metal. 2 then starts talking about some sort of acid, which I got confused for the drug and I got really excited for a second, but sadly he was just talking about some actual acid. The most important thing is that 1 tells us that something is watching over us in the Void, and that the metal room is immune to its effects. Next up on our tour is the back alley areas of the city. We saw some cool logos and a map that was made by Blazer, and a bunch of bottles in a dumpster. It was all fun and games until my past caught up to me. Seems this was all supposed to be a routine tour of the new facilities until she walked in. An old flame, long forgotten, washed away to the sands of time, had returned. See, we had never quite formally parted, leaving something of a stain to our relationship, if it could be called that. She had eyes of an angel, the kind you could just fall in, or summer in, or winter in, or spring in, or maybe December in, probably March in. You could probably march in them. Whatever, the point is I need to tell her that we're breaking up because yeah, it's weird. Blazer backed me up on this, so thank goodness for that. After that, I headed to the bar to drown my sorrows in bottled water. On the way, I found an odd green cube. I figured I should talk to my favorite bartender in the whole wide world. Okay, I just wanted to make it clear that Blazer is the one writing this script here, not me, so okay, whatever. He tells me that the cube was originally sitting behind the bar and that it burnt his hands when he tried to move it around, so he put it upstairs, outside the elevator where I found it. We discuss wages for a moment out of nowhere before the rest of the gang shows up to confront me after the breakup, and I ask them about the cube as well. They say that it's acid and it might be strong enough to burn through the metal. Oh, so I could probably use this in the metal room back on the first floor. The floor dissolves away, revealing a piece of paper reading 6472 as a code. At this point, I remembered the keypad behind the portal at place, so I grab Blazer and we head over. The code works like a charm and reveals 3 planks of wood. Almost as if someone had scripted this all out. We all head over to the bridge area and start reconstructing it with the planks of wood. The bridge, turns out, leads to another locked door. There's a note saying that the part of the code is 79, and 4 says that the first bit is 89. I have no reason not to trust him, so we still need more bits of the code, but it does start with 8979. Right after this, we all part ways for the time being, and I hop onto a call with Blazer to explore a new place called Factory. That's probably a bug. I'll come back later. Much better. It's pretty dark in here, but you can still make out some sticky notes which say, "Do not enter the code or you will unleash an evil far worse than Satan himself." Neat. There's also a hole in the ground here which no-clips you into place. Like, literally, there's no collision detection there for a little bit. My best theory right now is that this is how 3 ended up in the void. There's another game by 2 titled Crowns that's pretty similar to the Factory but less lore value. It's a showcase of various crowns with another invisible hole in the ground to fall in. This is probably how 2 got into the void as well. Also, I want to say, this place gives me a lot of inspiration for my Blue Steel Viking hats, so thank you for that too. By the way, you know that original soundtrack I mentioned in the intro? You've been listening to that the entire time. Wow. What a reveal. Crazy. Absolutely mind-boggling. I'd like to end on one final character who I haven't introduced yet. His name is Zero, and his Roblox profile says, "You found me? Will I ever be me again? Will I ever be what I wanted to be? I just wanted to go home. Null." He seems to have pretty big lore implications, so I'll definitely talk more about him in the future when he actually does something. Well, thanks for sticking around so long. I'd once again like to thank the creators of this myth, even though I still don't know who they are. Yeah, thank you for your continued support, and I'll see you next time in like another month, because we're both on break right now, so haha.